Everyone. Thanks for your patience. My name's Rebecca Crystal here at Raising a Reader, and I'm so excited to share with you our Super Summer Learning Adventures and kick off to summer today. So welcome to our April Town Hall. So our agenda for today is we're going to talk about summertime and what's so exciting about summer. We're going to dive into a program called our Super Summer Learning Adventures, but we're not just going to talk about Super Summer Learning Adventures. We're also going to talk about some free resources and free partnerships that Raising a Reader has joined forces with that are here for you and anyone that you serve, including your children and families. And then we're going to have a plethora of different resources and announcements that we're here to share with you today. And finally, at the end, we will do our randomizer for our two gift cards for those of you who joined us and who are wearing your wonderful tropical attire. So if you are wearing your tropical attire, I definitely took note of Beth and Nikki, in addition to our amazing staff who are here to support us in spirit with your summer wear. All right, so let's dive into Super Summer. And why summer? Why summer? Why is summer so important? And as I was doing, we've been doing the research for a while. Super Summer Learning Adventures has been around since 2020. And when we took a look at why we were going into summer, summer has been noticed as a time where we lose some learning for over 100 years. Over 100 years, we've been having this conversation as educators where we've noticed there's a decline in, gosh, what are kids left with? They're not necessarily coming back with when they have this break over the summer, whether it's 6 weeks or whether it's 3 months. So it's a conversation that we've been having for a long, long time. So we have decades of research that is showing us a lot, and it's recently been debated on what exactly is happening in the summer and what exactly children are gaining or not gaining in the summer. But we do know this. What a lot of research is showing is that summer reading loss is one of the most significant causes of the achievement gap. And on average, children from communities that have lower income lose more than 2 months of reading achievement over the summer. Now, this has come into debate. If you follow summer a lot, it has come into debate with some more recent studies in 2019 or so. But those are a few, less than a handful of studies compared to decades and decades of research that is showing that there is significant summer losses. When I took a look at even more research by the National Summer Learning Association, they coined this term of summer slide. And I don't always like to use the deficit language, but that's really occurring when children are losing some academics. They're losing something during the summer months. And if you think about that Raising Reader coordinator training that you may have attended when you first signed on to Raising Reader, it's that brain development research, right? When the brain decides it doesn't need something anymore, it goes through that process called pruning. It's like, hey, I don't need this. I don't need French anymore. I don't need this geometry anymore. I'm going to prune it, use it or lose it, and I'm not using it. So I'm just going to get rid of this. And so it happens naturally. It doesn't have to happen over the summer. Gosh, if you're an educator and you have had your students come back over a winter break or over a spring break, it takes those children a little while to get back into those routines. So this isn't just about summer. This is about any time that children are out of school for a prolonged period of time. We're going to lose some skills, whether it's social emotional, whether it's behavioral, whether it's academic, reading, mathematics. So this is what during the summer, we just happened to coin this the summer slide. And so a lot of kids are kind of treading water, or, at best, we're kind of treading water and we're maintaining, or even falling behind when we don't have summer programming, when we don't have resources. But we also know that some children are enrolled in super high quality, but very super expensive summer programming, and they're gaining skills or they're maintaining skills. Some other information that we know is that elementary students with high levels of attendance in voluntary summer learning programs are experiencing benefits in math and reading. So they're gaining while the other children are kind of treading or maybe even going back a little bit. So that gap is widening every single summer, and that gap can even widen during the school year. Summer programs can improve those math and reading skills, and they don't have to be very high, super expensive. They don't have to be super intensive. They can be very simple, very affordable, and very free and attainable programs. I mentioned that achievement gap between children from higher and lower income. And then research is showing that high quality summer programs, of course, make that difference in stemming learning loss. And 9 in 10 teachers spend at least 3 weeks reteaching lessons at the start of the school year. And I would say that's a pretty conservative estimate, at least 3 weeks. I would say, gosh, when I was a teacher, it felt more like 6 weeks. It felt like a long time to get us back into those routines and to reteach what we lost at the beginning of the school year. There's a lot of demand and for summer programming. So when the National Summer Learning Association did their research, they did polling, over half of families not participating in any type of summer program said they would if one was available to them, or even if they knew about one. And of those families that pay for summer programs, the average reported weekly cost was about $288 per child per week. And I would say that in my area in Maryland, that's kind of a steal, $288 per child per week, unfortunately. So for a lot of our families, a lot of people that I know, that summer programming is just out of reach. So what can we do? We can really help support our families to help support their child's learning at home. And again, it doesn't have to be a very high intensity programming. It doesn't have to be very costly. They don't have to have transportation. These are things that families can do at home, and they don't require a lot of rigor. So what we want to do is help equip families, help them understand that they can do things such as creating routines. Even if it is, hey, we're going to wake up around the same time every day. And after we wake up, then we do breakfast. And then we have maybe reading time. And then we do this and then we do that. Instead of kind of wake up whenever, do whatever. But even just having that routine of the day, again, doesn't require a lot of rigor, but informing parents to have any kind of routine at home. Creating a reading routine. So again, even if that's 3 days a week, or if we do that first thing after breakfast every day, or during dinner time, or right before bedtime, play games together. Hopscotch out front, jumping rope, playing cards inside. Follow the family traditions. If it's traditional for your family to, go outside for, skipping rocks, skipping stones in the creek, do what ask your families to follow their traditions, learn new games, or do any of those things together. Encourage your families to keep a summer journal. So this could even be for your families who don't have readers and writers quite yet. Keep a journal together as a family. What did we do this week? What do we want to do this week? What's on our summer bucket list? Maybe it's just having ice cream. Maybe it's doing a fire pit or having a campfire or going on nature walks. Doesn't have to be super expensive, doesn't have to involve big trips, but what are some family traditions that we want to create, and what did we do? Visit the local library and get creative. The local libraries have amazing free programs. So remember, those over half of the families said that they would enroll or that they didn't know about the free summer programming. There are those free summer programs, and sometimes it's just a matter of families understanding or knowing that those are available. Getting outside, using counting in daily routines. So anything that the children can count, whether it's coins, whether it's, shoes, forks. If we could count forks for every fork we lost in my house, we would all have numeracy here in my home. So encourage your families, use those counting skills in your daily routines, cook together with your children, have them just count things, count socks, match socks together. Get creative, build forts, create a collage, use recycled materials to make a boat that floats. So these are just things I threw up on this slide, but any of these things you can really jot down for your families. You can take a picture of this slide, and helping families understand that that bonding time that they have with their children is a really great way to help support summer learning at home. Again, it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be rigorous. They don't need to have access to transportation. These are all things that they can do in their communities and their homes that would really help their children become prepared for the school year ahead. And finally, is participate in Raising Readers Super Summer Learning Adventures. And we'll talk about several different ways that you can do that. Okay, so let's talk about Super Summer. Our Super Summer Learning Adventures program is really a great way to help children build their home libraries, because we know children need to have books at home that are age appropriate, that are highly motivating, where they can see themselves, see their home languages, and just have fun with them. The Super Summer program helps build important academic and social emotional skills. This is a way for families to have bonding time. This is a way for them to have resources to support that learning and get ready for the school year ahead. So what this does, we have several different types of activities, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek of those activities in a few minutes to come. But we're looking at types of activities like investigation, critical thinking, using your imagination, and then having these meaningful family experiences. What we wanted to do is give families easy to use resources and most of the tools they need to do every activity that we are suggesting. And these activities are more like a catalyst and inspiration for families to come up with other activities that they want to do together. So although we are suggesting activities, it's not a prescription. This is going beyond the workbook and beyond the worksheet and beyond the, you have to do these things and this is your reading list. These are activities meant to inspire, meant to nurture family time together, and meant to encourage families to learn and have fun together. And this program is offered in both pre-K and school age. And my amazing colleague, Christine, will be putting different links and resources in our chat throughout our time together today. So one thing she will be putting is a link to this flyer that you see, the Super Summer Learning Adventures flyer in the chat that you will have access to. And this will also be in the follow-up email to today's town hall. Okay, so let's talk about all of the amazing things in the Super Summer Learning Adventures program. And we're going to start with the bilingual family guide. So this is the basis for the Super Summer program. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek in a little bit. And we're going to include a PDF that is a sneak peek in just a little while. So this guide has 6 weeks of daily learning activities. And these activities are aligned to a few things. They are aligned eventually to Common Core, those, standards, those kind of universal standards. But I promise you, I'm not making children take the number 100 and break it down a million different ways. But the skills are eventually aligning to those standards in Common Core. The reading standards, of course, like every other shared reading and dialogic reading strategy encouraged with Raising Reader, they are aligned to the science of reading. We are talking about language comprehension, semantics, syntax, vocabulary, and those early literacy skills that funnel up to what skilled reading is. So those language comprehension pieces that, along with phonics and phonemic awareness and decoding, are what compose skilled reading. So the bilingual family guide, I will go through this with you in just a moment, but this is the basis for the Super Summer Learning Adventures program. There are also 4 bilingual books in this program, and we just love this book. I'll give you a sneak peek of this. Bilingual books like this, my very favorite book in the whole wide world. Also, there are some bilingual books like this. This is a nonfiction book. This is one for the pre-K grade level. This is called Can You Find? And this is more finding specific letters and specific sounds. And then these are older kids, our school age at K to second, there's a nonfiction book about space. And I just love that book because we can't get enough of nonfiction and those seeing space and learning about STEM. There is a beautiful Highlights High Five by Lingua Magazine. Sorry to go off camera for a second, but the Highlights High Five by Lingua Magazine is a great reading resource. So this has so many different genres in it, from poetry to fiction to nonfiction, some of our beloved favorites and classics, but it also has really fun activities. It has crafts, it has different crosswords puzzles. You can see real pictures of real animals, real objects, but then it also has cartoon illustrations. And so this is chock full of different types of reading and activity resources for our families. We have our reading journal, and this reading journal is blank, and it's blank intentionally because we want this to be a launching pad for families for creativity, but also to do the activities that are suggested in the family guide. And there's plenty of open space and white space for kids to then just let their imagination soar using the crayons that are included in the pack as well. So also there are magnetic letters and numbers. And so these can stick to the washer machine, the dryer, your refrigerator, cookie sheets. They can kind of stick everywhere. And these are great because these are great for letter identifications, sound identification, building letters, because we have sight words in that family guide. So all of the activities in the guide are going to ask you to use some of the materials that are included in the Super Summer Learning Adventures pack. And then finally, you're going to have the counting cubes. So you're going to get 40 counting cubes. So it's 4 blocks, 4 long blocks, and each block has 10 cubes. So it's 4 different colors, and that's great for when you're sorting, you're counting. We use the cubes for measurement activities, for estimation, all types of activities just with these 40 counting cubes. And everything comes in a really durable navy blue drawstring backpack. So again, this is for pre-K and school age. I will talk about infant and toddler in just a little bit. So let's take a sneak peek of some of the really beautiful activities in this Super Summer Guide. So we always start off helping families understand what school readiness is. And school readiness isn't just about making sure I have academic skills. School readiness is also about self-help, right? And making sure children understand routines and making sure they know their name, making sure they understand about following rules and getting dressed and sharing. Perhaps even making sure they have fine motor skills. Maybe they can button and they can do zippers and carry their backpacks. And some social skills, asking to play or waiting their turn. So it's more than, oh my gosh, I have to make sure we do these, work pages in the workbook to be ready for school. But it is about the social emotional, the self-regulation, and the academic. The guide is also built up of several different modalities of learning. And what we really want to make sure is that families understand that this is more than just, raising a reader. We are a family engagement and early literacy organization primarily, but we're also all about learning. So this is more than just language and literacy. It is about STEAM. It is about pulling out mathematics and writing and health and wellness, and celebrating the culture and joy of families and family bonding. This is what some of the activities look like. And you'll see our beloved bulldog, Ready Freddy, throughout the guide. And Ready Freddy is kind of there throughout the guide to remind families to, hey, take care of yourself too, families, and you're doing such a great job. And here's some suggestions to make sure you're taking care of yourself as well as you're taking care of your kiddos. So you'll see Ready Freddy throughout the guide, but these are some activity suggestions. So you'll see they're in English and Spanish, and our blue activities are all about language and literacy. Again, these are all things that come in the guide. This one is pulling out your letters, and the parent or the grown-up suggests a letter name, and the child can use the spatula to whack it, or a pencil or a pen or just their finger. Then a letter sound, and then a word that starts with the letter. So lots of different activities that you can do here, and we build a word. And you can see Ready Freddy is suggesting to the families to make time for self-care every day. whether that's having a cup of tea, going on a walk, or sometimes it's just listening to your favorite jam as a grown-up, as a caregiver for a child. We have numbers of the day, and then a health and wellness activity is, again, these are kind of those activities to get children ready in terms of health and wellness and social emotional development. And this is a fun activity called phone numbers, where we're teaching children to learn important phone numbers by putting pieces of paper or paper plates on the wall, just taping them to the wall. And man, my son sure loved to learn by punching the wall with the phone number, or jumping on the floor. So of course we taped it to the floor so no one would slip, but just jumping on the different numbers. So lots of fun activities throughout this guide. There's social emotional activities, and then you can see math activities where we were learning how to make a graph, a tally graph, by seeing what everyone's favorite summer sweet was. We became meteorologists by watching the weather and graphing the weather. So every day for a week, we looked at the weather and we said, okay, is it sunny? Is it partly cloudy? Is it rainy? Is it stormy? And we graphed it. So some of us who live in beautiful, amazing states like California and most of the days in Florida and everywhere in between, you know, have beautiful weather. So your graph might be one way, but some of us who have summer one day and winter the next here on the East Coast, ours might be our graphs might be a little bit more interesting. And then our STEM activities are like architect challenge, building recycled boats. So again, these are all fun activities, again, over 6 weeks of daily learning activities. And we're really trying to encourage families, if your child is really into an activity, keep going. But if your child is not into an activity, it's okay to stop after a few minutes and try it again another day. Pick it up another day, but you don't have to force any of the activities. Go with your child's interest, and this is about having fun. In addition to all of the amazing activities in the Super Summer Guide, we wanted to be sure to include learning resources. So we intentionally included what we call these flashcards. We have letter cards that are in English and in Spanish. So we included English letters, but then you can see we added some of these Spanish, the CHs and the N with the Enye. I'm probably saying that wrong because my Spanish is terrible, and the double R's that we use in like the word perro. So we have the letter cards, we have number cards, we added shape cards last year. So there are a lot of activities that refer to using these cards, or families can use these cards in any way they'd like. We also added, in addition to those, we added a place value mat. We added a 10 frame. So you can build different numbers using a 10 frame, and we also explain how to use that 10 frame. I always show more than I show on the slides. So we added a reflection guide and goal setting because, again, we truly believe that when you can set goals as a family or you can reflect as a family, this is a great page for families to think together. Gosh, what have we enjoyed about this summer? What do we enjoy about doing this, this whole guide together? What do we want? What do we learn about ourselves? And what do we want to do next? So
That's creative.
yeah, I love it. The journaling is just such a fun activity and such a fun idea. And you can even extend it in the journal that was provided and not just on the
Really
reflection
nice.
guide in
I
here.
know.
Finally, we included sight words, and from pre-K all the way up to second grade. Families can use these sight words. Again, we provided some instruction on what can be done with the sight words. So you can use it with the activities in the journal with all those extra blank pages, but you can see these are just high frequency words. They're not words children are going to be required to spell off of memory, but these are words that children are going to see in reading a lot. And so they can build the words with their magnetic letters. They can build the words with their flashcards. There's play bingo with the words. We give a lot of different suggestions on what you can do with the sight words. And then finally, one of my favorite parts to the Super Summer program is a certificate for the child's name and the grown-up's name. And we've heard so many stories about how families take these out of the guides and they proudly display it on the refrigerator or somewhere else where they've gone through the Super Summer program and they're so excited, and that is their, that's what they did this summer. And they're proud. It's something to be really proud that you guys did together as a family, and it's a great milestone. So in addition to the Super Summer Guide, we have a lot of innovations that go along with this program. The first is Read Camp. So we partner with some amazing mission-aligned organizations, and one is called the Share the Magic Foundation. And Malcolm Mitchell is a Super Bowl champion turned author. He wrote one of the books that are in our Super Summer program called My Very Favorite Book in the Whole Wide World. And even if you don't get Super Summer for your children and families, I really wanted to provide you with ways that you can make sure your families know how they can support their kiddos, but also free resources. And Read Camp is a free resource for any family who wants to sign up, or any summer program that you might be doing with your centers or your sites. So if you go to Read Camp, it is like a digital reading challenge. And I hear Kristi Yamaguchi is the very own Kristi Yamaguchi, who is an Olympic gold medalist figure skater, is going to be one of the reading coaches this year, along with a lot of other amazing athletes. And so you can go to Read Camp, Share the Magic Foundation, and sign your families up, sign your sites up if you're doing a summer camp. It is a lot of fun. So this is Malcolm. I might have to reshare for optimum. And I wanted just to show you a little bit of Malcolm reading some of his book to us. So excuse me 1 second, I'm going to stop the share and then I have to reshare it again to get optimum video clip here. So again, Malcolm Mitchell is the founder of the Share the Magic Foundation, and he leads Read Camp. And he is the author of one of the titles in our Super Summer Learning Adventures pack. So this is Malcolm, and he will share. I won't play the whole thing because it is about 10 minutes long, but I'll play just a little bit for you so you can see why we're so excited about having this book in our Super Summer program.
Happy World Read Aloud Day, a special day all about sharing your favorite stories. To celebrate, I'm going to share with you my picture book, my very favorite book in the whole wide world. Are you ready to begin? Are you ready to read my very favorite book in the whole wide world? Written by me, Malcolm Mitchell, and illustrated by Michael Robertson. And I must add, the illustrations are incredible. So let's begin. Hi, I'm Henley, and this is a story about finding my very favorite book in the whole wide world. But it wasn't as easy as it sounds. Reading can be hard, you know. Henley, I understand. Once upon a time, everyone thought I hated to read, but that's just not true. In some books, the words are too big, the sentences too long, and there are way too many pages. In other books, the pictures have zero to do with cool things I like or with what's inside of me. I do try, but some books are so giant, if I stood on them, I would turn into a giant. Other books are so boring, I'd rather use them as pillows. When I'm supposed to be reading homework, I'd rather play football in the backyard. When I'm asked to read the cookbook to help make dinner, I would rather see how many grapes I can fit into my mouth. Once I took a wagon full of books to the town swimming pool to find out how good they could swim. Henley's something else, isn't he? When I tried to read books about dinosaurs, they made my brain hurt. So I gave the books back to the dinosaurs. I've tried reading books about mountains, pickles, aliens, monsters, cats chasing mice, and mice chasing cats. I even found a book about cats chasing mice up a mountain while aliens eat pickles with monsters, but none of those made reading easier or more fun. But that all changed when Mrs. Joy gave the worst homework assignment ever. Find your very favorite book in the whole wide world and bring it to school tomorrow. It can be a book about anything. Just make sure you love it because you'll be sharing it with the class. Uh-oh. The school bell sounded like 100 horns blowing in my ear. Thinking about the yucky homework assignment gave me a super headache and made my hands sweaty. Anyone's hands get sweaty when they have to read. Sometimes mine do. On the way home from school, I stopped by the mighty library hoping to find any book that could be my very favorite. My friends went into the library ahead of me. When it comes to finding books, I'm not so fast. Inside, there was a nice man sitting behind a jumbo-sized desk. I asked him if he could help me find my very favorite book in the whole wide world. Because sometimes we need help finding our favorite book. He showed me books about science and adventure and squishy animals. He flipped through the pages of books about flags, farms, and holidays. He'd found plenty of books with twisty big words, sentences as long as my legs, and pictures that tangled the pages. It gave me the heebie-jeebies. When I saw my friends in the middle of the library having fun and reading, I felt more lost than ever. Sometimes it can be lonely trying to find their very favorite book. Sometimes others may find their very favorite book faster than you, but that does not mean you won't find yours. The next place I tried was Miss Rackley's bookshop. Maybe she could help me find my favorite book. Mrs. Rackley did what she does best. She brought piles and piles of books. I looked and looked and looked, but I couldn't call any of them my very favorite book in the whole wide world. All those pages and all those words made my eyes tired. I realized it was going to take a book miracle to find my very favorite book. I grew a sad face and stomped all the way home. Poor Henry.
Oh, well, if you want to find out if he found his very favorite book in the whole wide world, you'll have to either go on YouTube, get our Super Summer Learning Adventures, or find Malcolm Mitchell's book. But I guarantee you the ending is very exciting, and Henley has a happy ending at the end. Okay. In addition to the ReadCamp innovation, we also, as I mentioned, have Highlights, the High Five Bilingual magazine. And Highlights has amazing parent pages. And if you haven't been able to go to the Highlights page, please go ahead, and I believe Christine will be putting in the chat a link to the Highlights parent page. There are, again, more free resources, free activities for families to do, blogs and articles for families that are all free for families. You don't have to be part of the Super Summer program for your families to enjoy some of the free resources on the Highlights for Kids parent pages. Throughout the Super Summer Learning Adventures Family Guide, there are QR codes to various shared reading videos. So remember, raising a reader surrounds our behaviors are all around dialogic reading. So things like asking good questions, recall and prediction, completion, distancing, comparing and contrasting. And so each of these skills has a video attached with it because we want families to be able to see these types of reading behaviors in action. So if you go to Raising a Reader's YouTube page, you'll see over 30 different videos in English and in Spanish. So throughout the family guide, you'll see QR codes where we suggest an activity. We say, hey, take one of the books from your Super Summer Learning Adventures pack and try this, share it together, and try asking questions such as this. Who was the character in the story? What did they do? And guess what? Here's a QR code to see how you can ask these questions. But don't worry, anyone can go to our YouTube page and check out how these videos, check out these videos. So let's just take a look at one of these videos here.
Where they all
And I will start it from.
Compare and contrast. How is it the same? How is it different? Help children think about the similarities and differences by comparing and contrasting.
Let's go, said his father, and together they leapfrogged all the way there. Flop, flop, flop. Where they all ate burgers and flies. Munch, crunch, munch. We just finished reading 2 books, Froggy Eats Out and Red-Eyed Tree Frog. Should we compare the books?
Yes.
Yes? What's similar about them?
They both ate in both of the books, and they're both about frogs.
They both ate and they both are about frogs. Very good. Is everything about the 2 books alike?
No.
No? Well, let's look at them. Let's contrast them. What's different about this book and that book?
One's nonfiction and one's fiction.
Very good. One's nonfiction, one's fiction. What else about it?
In this one, it has an ant, and the other one, it doesn't have an ant.
Yeah, this one he likes to eat ants, and this one he doesn't want to eat ants. What does he eat in this one?
Noodles.
Noodles?
And flies.
Good job. Which one's your favorite?
This one.
This one? Well, Daddy likes this one a whole lot. So I think we should take them both home and read them again.
Okay.
Okay?
So there's more and more videos like this on our YouTube page. Again, you can share these with your families via text, via email. You can send these. You could use these in your family engagement videos, workshops. In addition, on the YouTube page, we have access to read alouds. So lots of different read alouds from Raising Reader coordinators, from Raising a Reader staff, in English and in Spanish. So here we have a debut from one of our coordinators, Little Red Reading Hood, from Raising a Reader staff. Sometimes they're reading books from the Super Summer Pack and they're reading other books. We have authors and illustrators doing read alouds on the Raising a Reader YouTube page. So these are all free access, open access to anyone that you can use as part of your Super Summer Learning Adventures program, or just part of any open access reading program or summer programming that you're doing with your families. And finally, in addition to Super Summer Learning Adventures, we have a couple of opportunities for add-on. And one of the things we heard loud and clear from some research that we did in combination with the New America Foundation and Rutgers University was the need for social emotional supports for our children and families. So we created a guide a few years ago called More Beyond the ABCs, A Family's Guide to Social Emotional Learning. And so this is another bilingual family guide. You can see I use it a lot. I've got a lot of Post-its in it for me and my kiddos. And what we did is we took the various modalities of social emotional development, such as managing feelings, let's see, perseverance, perspective taking, empathy, developing in positive relationships. And we talk about what it means for our littler kids, our 3 to 5-year-olds, and our 5 to 7-year-olds, and what families can do to help nurture the development of these skills in children. And so we developed the guide, and we have Ready Freddy. Remember that mascot I told you about with our Super Summer Guide? Well, here he is, in not quite real to life, but in stuffed animal form. So this is an add-on you can get to your Super Summer kit or by itself. And this kit is just the guide, and Ready Freddy is $20 to add on. And so what Ready Freddy does is he really helps depersonify a lot of situations. So for example, if I'm talking to my kiddo about about positive relationships, maybe he's had a conflict with a friend, and instead of saying, well, what did you do? I might be able to say, can you show me what Freddie did in that situation? Or if you were Freddie, how might you do that situation differently? And we can role play with Freddie. And that takes the onus off the child and puts the onus on the child acting out the situation through Freddie. And sometimes the child just wants a loving stuffed companion that's super cuddly and super sweet. So that's what Ready Freddie does for us here. So you have an option of just getting the guide and Freddie, but then you have an option of getting the guide, Freddie, and 3 high quality, beautiful social emotional books as well. So there's a lot of different options for add-ons to the Super Summer program, or you can purchase it just in isolation, just on its own. I also mentioned that I would tell you about the infant and toddler packs as well. So infant and toddler packs are a great way to help nurture that shared reading routines with your families that have infants and toddlers who are 0 to 36-month-olds. And this family guide provides you with try it, read aloud tips, and what shared reading looks like for families of infants from 0 to 6 months, 6 to 12, 12 to 24, and 24 to 36, because reading with a 6-month-old is very different than reading with a 24-month-old. And so we break it down by those age groups. We provide 6 high-quality bilingual board books, and we provide a really fun puppet, all in a Raising a Reader blue library bag. So that's a really fun way to also include your families of the infants and toddlers. Okay, I want to give you a couple of examples from the field before we do our announcements from today. So just a few things. One of our affiliates in California, Alisal School District, used Super Summer to incentivize families to register for TK. So if you're outside of California, TK is that kind of middle age group for children who were not quite old enough to register for K. And so they're in the middle of pre-K and kindergarten. So, you know, those birthdays that are kind of after that September 15th time, they kind of missed the mark here. So they got a Super Summer Learning Adventures pack when they registered, and it was great for them to register and have that orientation. The Boys and Girls Club, this is right by me here in Maryland. Super Summer was part of their summer camp program. So the children did the Super Summer learning activities at the summer camp at Boys and Girls Club. And then, so they had it at the Boys and Girls Club there, but they also had a pack at home. So they replicated it at home, but they got the teaser at the club as a group. And so then they went home, because remember, children drive the process. Mom, dad, sister, brother, abuela. They were really excited to do that at the Boys and Girls Club in that way. You can use it as a graduation gift. So this Head Start, I love this picture. They gave Super Summer Learning Adventures away as the graduation gift. You're off to kindergarten. You are done with Head Start. This is a great transition gift for those kiddos. And then back to school transition. So this is not just a program that is meant for summer. This can be done anytime. And as your families are entering the school year during the fall time, at that time of transition, it's a great way to start those homework habits. And hey, for the first 6 weeks of school, we're going to give you something fun to do to start those homework habits as we're getting into the routines for the school year ahead. So for a lot of our affiliates, this has been the experience of using it in those August, September, and October months. And what we've seen on social media and beyond is that our families love it. Our families are really excited and thankful for having Super Summer help their kids get ready for the school year ahead. Okay, so lots of ways to get your Super Summer packs. You can email us, hello@raisingareader, go on the shop site. You can let us know. You can let your program manager know. So lots and lots of different ways. I'm actually going to do a poll in just a second, because I am determined to get all of our the technology right and going in between all of my different slides. Okay, there we go. I'm going to show you again, and I'm going to launch the poll because I know how to do it, I promise. Okay, so there's a couple of different polls that I'm going to launch. If you are interested in Super Summer, or you want us to go ahead and email you, I just launched a poll. There's 2 questions. One is send me more information about Super Summer. You can add your name and your email and we'll send you information about it. And I'm going to keep that poll up for a little while. You can feel free to enter in information or you can email us hello@raisingareader.org or email your program manager. And I'm going to go on and share some information and announcements as we keep going this afternoon. Okay, so our first announcement are digital retrospective parent surveys. So if you want to deliver your parent surveys digitally, I'm going to ask you to contact my amazing colleague, Patricia. So Patricia's email is right here if you want a custom link for your digital surveys. So we are out with the old, in with the new. No more paper pencil. So let's get digital. Email Patricia and she will provide you with that custom link for digital surveys. And then checkout surveys. So you don't have to wait until the fall anymore to remember what you did the previous program year. So everyone should have gotten an email earlier today. I know I got mine just maybe an hour and a half ago for our annual affiliate checkout. It is available today. The early bird deadline is May 17th. So those first 10 affiliates that complete the survey, you're going to get a $25 gift card. And then everyone else, you're going to go into a raffle by the final deadline of May 31st, and you're going to go into that raffle for another, more $25 gift cards. This affiliate checkout survey does include demographic information. So we are going to be asking you for your family demographics this time. We did not ask you about it last time. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us. You can email us at hello@raisingareader.org. You can email your program manager. That is fine too. We are here to help. And Christine might also put in a link. If you didn't get it via email, we have a live link that we can put in the chat so that you can go ahead and have that link and complete that at any time. This survey generally, if you have your demographic info, will take less than about 30 minutes to complete. And we really appreciate your time in completing that. Awesome. Okay. So our May Town Hall are going to be advancing early STEM learning with diverse books. So this is our diverse book coalition series. It is every 3 months, and we're really excited to have this. We are finalizing a date, but it is toward the end of the month. And Ty, do you have we'll have a date within the next week. So look for it in your bookmark. Bookmark comes out next week. No, the following week, because next week, Tuesday is April 30th. So we'll be out in less than 2 weeks with a final date. So look for an e-blast about that. Don't forget about our Exceptional Diversity Collection. So I know this is the second town hall that I've been talking about the Exceptional Diversity Collection, but it is a truly beautiful collection. We have it for 0 to pre-K and then school age. It's 10 books. For 0 to pre-K with book plates and shared reading videos. The videos are on YouTube. So this is the 0 to pre-K. And then we have the school age with the book plates and the shared reading videos on YouTube. If you have any questions about this or you want a one-pager, we have those. We just love this collection. As you can see, it's beautiful. It provides an array of amazing children, amazing protagonists, and just a really great addition to your collection. In addition, we've been mentioning this, we mentioned this last month, our 2024 refreshers are coming. Refreshers, this is the first time since 2020, so it is a really big news. These are going to be available to order for our 0 to 2, 3 to 4 in pre-K. You will be able to order these as of May 1st. So May 1st, these will be on the ordering site. These will be available to ship in early June. Okay, our school age, these will be available to order in June, and they will be shipping in the beginning of the school year in September. So in order to give you a beautiful sneak peek and in-depth view, I'm inviting you all to a webinar to take a look at all of the different offerings for refreshers. And that is going to be on Thursday, May 9th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Here's our webinar link. Christine is going to put the link so that you can register. We'll also be providing e-blasts about this. We will also include this in the bookmark. So I have most of the books for the refreshers in my house, over 150 different new titles entering the Raising Reader collection. And we heard you loud and clear. There are a lot more bilingual English and Spanish titles, STEAM, social, emotional, children and protagonists with special needs and disabilities. It's all here, and I'm so excited to share this collection with you. So join me on May 9th. You won't be disappointed. I think you're really gonna love it. Okay, so I have another poll. Okay, so make sure also if you want to get a sneak peek at the refreshers, go ahead and enter in your name on that poll. If you see that one, okay, and great. Okay, so that's the poll on there too. Okay, and then check out our updated product catalog. So if you see the product catalog, it is on our main website. It is beautiful. It is live all the time. It will be changing with our updated refreshers in about a week. So look for updated refresher options as well coming soon. Finally, our virtual coordinator training. I know I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm trying to get it all in the next 4 minutes. So virtual coordinator training is coming. We have a 4-week course in July and then our last one of the year in October. So make sure to register if you need to or send someone from your organization. Okay, finally, what you've all been waiting for. If you wore tropical attire or had a tropical background, I know Nikki has been here for over an hour with her tropical attire, but I also know Beth showed up with some tropical attire. Raise your hand or show yourself on this camera if you also have tropical attire. I know our CEO came on with tropical attire. We'll have our own staff poll. Anyone else join me in the spirit of tropical or summer wear today? I have Beth and Nikki. Anyone else? You can share your show your camera or raise your hand or put it in the chat. Okay, I'll give you a second. Oh, Justine. Okay, Justine. Thank you. All right.
Had to throw on my husband's shirt.
I love it.
I have the hubby shirt on as well.
I love it. They always have the shirts. They have the shirts. I have one that says Hot Dad Summer, but I didn't think it would be appropriate for this afternoon. All right, great. Okay, well, I have 3 gift cards. So I have Nikki and Beth and Justine. You guys are the winners of our gift card today. Thank you for playing. If you guys could send, put it in the chat, put your emails in your chat so that I can send you 3 a gift card for dressing up with me. I would really appreciate it. And thank you for being in the spirit of fun today. All right, let's take some questions. Does anybody have questions about Super Summer, about summer resources, or any of the announcements that we shared today?
I have a quick question about the, this is Deb from
Hey,
Minnesota.
Deb.
Hey, about the survey or whatever that we're filling out the information.
Yes.
There's a spot there that says pre-K, transitional kindergarten, and first grade. If we have a regular kindergarten we're working with, do we just check transitional? There's nowhere that says just regular kindergarten.
Okay. We'll fix that this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, it should say K. It should say pre-K, K, and transitional kindergarten.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry
just
about that.
All right. No problem.
Thanks, Deb. Awesome. Great question. And congratulations to Deb. Deb, could you just announce what award you received for all of your work in Raising a Reader in Minnesota? We're so proud of you, and we'll be sharing it on our social media. So look for Deb's beautiful face and her Raising a Reader gear on social media to come.
Yeah. We have a group in Minnesota called the Minnesota Association for Family and Early Education. And they had their state conference on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of April. And our work with Raising a Reader received one of 4 innovative programming awards for the state of Minnesota. And they don't usually give those to smaller rural communities like ours. They usually go more to the metropolitan areas. So we're very excited for being able to receive that.
That's amazing, Deb. Thank you. So exciting for you, Deb. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's great. Awesome. Any other questions about Super Summer, about the announcements? Okay, awesome. All right, thank you all. I can't wait to see all of you again for our 2024 refresher sneak peek on May 9th. And then again at our next town hall, we will have the announcement of the date within the next week coming to you. And if you have any other questions, Ty and I will stay on to this town hall, and you can stay on and ask us any questions. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and the end of May. No, it's April. The end of April. I'll see you in May. Take care, everyone. Thanks.